Doodaloo. 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 Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Boop. What's up, everybody in the vinyl community? This is Rich at Embarrassment of Riches, and I am finally making my entry video for Mike MGKBoston's push to a quadrillion subscribers. And he is such a solid dude that when he asks you to do something like this, there is really only one answer. And the first question asks us to show an album owned by our spouse that we do not like. Well, although my wife does enjoy music, she doesn't really ever have the time to sit down and put on a record and enjoy music. She's too much of a multitasker for that to happen very often. There's a few records in here that we bought so that she could listen to whenever she wanted. And so to pick a record that I don't like, she knew this from the beginning 30 years ago, but I've disliked this album for very long, and it was in the vinyl tag as an album that I did try to learn to enjoy at one point, but could never really bring myself to it. And it will forever always be Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Yeah. And coming in at number 2, Mike wants us to show our favorite snack item and to review it. Now, I don't really try to eat at my desk very often, which is where everybody seems to show their snacks and where they have been enjoying them. Once upon a time, with zero doubt, a very unhealthy snack that I did have a lot at my desk would be Sour Patch Kids, which I used to have a whole lot of a few years ago. I don't do very often at all anymore, but there is, I don't know if they put cocaine or something inside that bag, but once you pull out all the yellow Sour Patch Kids, it's heaven. But yeah, that's not really a snack. That's more like tooth decay in a bag. But what I do snack on when I'm at my desk, and I would be eating it right now if I didn't already have one a couple hours ago, is there's this yogurt, this brand of yogurt. Let's see, I don't know if we can get it on there. It's called Oui, and this is the strawberry version, and it's French style yogurt, and it is one of my absolute favorite snacks. And it is even better when you compound it with the homemade granola that my wife makes. This is yet even more crackish, but a little bit healthier than shoving half a bag of Sour Patch Kids down your gullet while you're watching YouTube videos. So yeah, this is the strawberry on the bottom. It's a very light yogurt, very flavorful. And my strategy, if you must know, and you must know, is I put about a little container with granola in it, and I put in a little bit with each bite, mix it up, eat it, little bite, granola, eat it. It is absolutely a bomb-ass snack and can fill me up for a good couple hours. It's good stuff. I don't know if anybody has ever tried this. If you're into yogurt, this is good stuff. And at number 3, Mike wants us to wear a cool shirt in our video and explain why we think that it is cool. I have worn my favorite t-shirt today. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but this shirt says, "I'm glad Reagan dead." It's a title of a song. Well, the song is called Reagan, but it's from Killer Mike of Run the Jewels. And it's a sentiment that I've always felt, and to this day is still a very strong sentiment, and can even be applied to other political figures that need to move themselves along, as it were. But yeah, everyone is showing their really nice looking button-up shirts, and that's cool, but I'm generally not going to wear a button-up shirt unless I'm at a wedding, funeral, graduation, or some other occasion. I'm home. I'm not going to wear a button-up shirt at home. I'm not dressing up for anything. So yeah, out of my many shirts that I really love and enjoy, this is the one that I am the happiest to see when I pull out the drawer of my t-shirts. I'm glad Reagan dead. And at number 4, Mike wants us to describe a positive as well as a negative concert experience. and to show an album by both artists. Now, a positive concert experience. I've had a lot of positive concert experiences. One positive concert experience that easily springs to mind is about 2006 or 7. My wife, my oldest son, and I went to go see Social Distortion at the House of Blues in LA. And we were gifted the tickets and had a chance to talk with a family friend of ours who we love very much that plays bass for Mike Ness when he's solo and with Social Distortion. His name is Brent. He's a gem of a human being, and we got to talk with him before the show and after the show. But one of the real treats was it was my oldest son's first concert. He was, at that point, 10 years old. And we were able to get up on the front of the balcony and overlook the stage in the pit. And it was the first time he ever saw a punk rock show or a mosh pit happening. And just to watch his eyes go wide with wonder at how this massive chaos was happening, but everybody was getting along and helping each other. And yeah, that's a very positive memory. He still remembers it vividly as well, so we talk about it. Now, negative concert experiences. I've seen some shows that were subpar. I had mentioned previously in other videos way back talking about concerts that I saw Sublime at least a dozen times between 93 and 95. And half of those shows were pretty bad. Just drug use and alcoholism and just general not giving a shit about the show. But they did many brilliant shows as well. But when I think of concerts that really were negative, they were both concerts that ended in riots with cops and helicopters and all kinds of problems. And the first one that comes to mind would be a Morrissey show in 1991 at the Pauley Pavilion. Is that Westwood or Santa Monica? It's in the greater LA area, but it was your typical 1991 Morrissey solo show. Rabid fans and just craziness going on. And I was with two girlfriends of mine at the time and spent what little money I had when we got there as we walked in at the merch stand, and I got a poster and a couple t-shirts and a program. And the show started off pretty good. He got a few songs going, and then for some reason thought it was a good idea to urge people to get out of their seats and move forward. And this is a Morrissey concert. And that's not what you do, man. It got out of hand and people jumped on stage and were stage diving and pushing him around, and they ushered him off the stage. And we just sat around with the house lights on for about an hour, and then they announced he wasn't coming back. Like, Elvis had left that building, and people went apeshit. Like, throwing things. They turned over all the merch stands. They busted into the food stands. It was a fucking mess. And there's a correlation between this and the next one as well. But I was responsible for the safety of the two women I was with, so I kind of huddled them and we pushed along. But man, cops were straight up beating people with batons, and yeah, it was pretty gnarly. But that didn't really hold a candle to the next one. The next show was in June of 1995. It was closer to home to where I lived than LA was. This was in San Bernardino County. It was at the Glen Helen Pavilion, and it was called Punk Show. And I believe there was listed 20 bands that were going to show up and play. And there were a lot of really, really good bands on that list, and the ticket price was crazy cheap. It just seemed like you were getting a whole lot for your money that particular day. Like, I went in there with a whole lot of optimism. Woo! And there was a lot of great bands. There was the Vandals, Whitecaps, Cadillac Tramps, Voodoo Glow Skulls. I think Strung Out was there. DI and Face to Face, who I always enjoyed seeing live. They were a really good band back then. The headliner was Sublime, but they didn't make it because that was the day that the lead singer Bradley's son was born. And we didn't find out till about 2/3 through the show that they weren't going to be there. So there were some pissed off people because they wanted to see Sublime. And I was, whatever. I mean, there was a lot of good bands, but one band caused a real problem there, and they always did. Every time I saw this band was a problem. They were called Guttermouth, and they're a fun enough SoCal type punk rock band. I've seen them a number of times, but the lead singer at that time was just a fucking instigator and just always trying to get people to do crazy shit at the shows. And if you get a crowd that big, there's just some crowd psychology going on, and even people who might not act that foolish will do so. Not me. Me and my one of my best friends, Dave, were way at the back watching all this go down. There was a great show up until that point. But the singer from Guttermouth just got pissed off and started telling people to push around the security guards and like this anarchist kind of bullshit. And I didn't think it was really going to happen because there was thousands of people there. And in the same manner as I did at that Morrissey show I mentioned earlier, when I got there, I like to buy my merch early before the show starts, so I don't mind carrying around a couple posters and t-shirts and all that. I just don't want to wait at the end when it's a long ass line. A lot of context, sorry. So I didn't really have a lot of money to spend. I was broke, but I did buy a couple t-shirts and a poster and enjoyed the show. And then when Guttermouth came on, everything went to shit. Helicopters, smoke, people were beating up on security guards and cops. And it was a hot day in the fucking Inland Empire. And yeah, people started pushing over the merch stands again. And the same thing. Both shows, I wasted money buying merch when I could have just walked by and picked the shit up off the ground after everybody tossed everything down. But that was wild. Yeah, that was pretty negative. It got kind of sketchy there trying to get to the car and get the hell out. It was pretty rough. One good thing that I did see, though, was in researching this, I went and found a video from Fox News way back when it did happen. And I had forgotten because I saw the first real fight start right in front of us. And I'm not getting involved, man. These dudes were bigger than me and they seemed to be pretty drunk. But in the video for the news, it was stated that the fight started when a couple of guys started mobbing up on a Nazi skinhead, which, like, I'm with all that. Like, that's fine. That's a good reason for a riot, beating up Nazis. Number 5. Mike asks us that if we hit the lottery, what would be our dream destination to live at? I guess it would depend upon how much money we did end up winning. I'm guessing it would be a couple $100 million because that's what I want. And I imagine I probably would not stay in the United States. I'd probably still keep a place here. You know, given the money, I would have a nice place in Manhattan, and I would have a nice place with a lot of country space and solitude. But I would most likely try to find a really nice place in the Czech Republic, because we've been to Prague and there's beautiful places there, and Edinburgh as well. I really liked Edinburgh, but the weather might get to me. So if I could stay in Edinburgh for the days that I find beautiful and just fly back to the States for the sunny days or the summertime, that would be ideal. And at number 6, we are to show a blues album. I don't really have a whole lot, and I couldn't find my Blues Brothers soundtrack because, like I said in the last video, my soundtrack section is garbage. I just think I just threw it all together. I didn't alphabetize it. I didn't do genre. It's something I got to work on. I don't know if I'm going to do it here while we're living here, but maybe when we move eventually. Don't have a lot of blues albums, but I did buy this one that I love. And this is, let me get the glare off, Serve You Right to Suffer from John Lee Hooker. At number 7, Mike says that he loves hats and wants us to show a personal favorite from our hat collection. And collection is the correct word when it comes to my hats. I probably have 20 to 30 fitted baseball caps. I only wear baseball hats. I don't mess with fedoras or pork pies or cowboy hats or anything like that. And I would say that my favorite hat is generally whichever Dodgers hat that I'm wearing that day. I think I have 7 Dodgers hats, so I have one for every day of the week if I wanted. I will generally go for the darker colors. I have this one, and this is a dark blue. I also have it in black. I've got batting practice hats. I got spring training hats. I used to have this same kind of devotion to the Boston Red Sox, who decided a couple years ago that they wanted to stop winning anything. And it made them even harder to love than it was through all the dry years in the 70s and 80s and 90s when I was only a Boston Red Sox fan. In the early 2000s, I found my way to liking both the Red Sox and the Dodgers. And if you know baseball, loving the Dodgers has been just a fucking tiny bit more rewarding. So yeah, Dodger hat. There are honorable mentions included. And that first honorable mention goes to this wonderful boat right here. This is a Nardcore hat, which is the symbol for Oxnard punk rock, which is a rich legacy of amazing punk rock. And the logo itself, I believe, was drawn by Jaime Hernandez from Love and Rockets fame, one of the greatest comic book artists ever, also from Oxnard. Great music scene, and I love you, Dave. You're my brother, and I appreciate this. And I wear this one proudly all the way in Pennsylvania. Nobody's got a goddamn clue what it means. Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, normally I don't think I ever wear hats in my videos. I mean, when you got a crop that looks this nice, and really my wig is looking good today, but when your crop is this nice, you don't really want to cover it up. But I'm getting into the spirit of things here just for Mike. That's how much love I got for this man. Number 8 is, who is the supermodel? Show a record from a male and a female artist who you consider to be a supermodel in the looks department. And music is full of beautiful people throughout history, and there's just too many to choose from. So I went with just what I saw as soon as I turned around in my chair and looked at these stacks, and certain records caught my eye. And first and foremost will forever be one of the most beautiful women that had ever made music, and that is Annie Lennox. And really nothing is more attractive than talent and kindness. And she has embodied both of these things for the entirety of her career, and she still is a very active presence on topics that I'm interested in. So yeah, beautiful. And for the male artist, this was an easy choice as well, because I mean, it's Michael Hutchence. I mean, it's kind of hard to disagree, you know. And I mean, it's not like I sit around and daydream about him.
Hubba hubba.
Number 9, Make It Stop. Show a song that you never need to hear again. I will have to look up something online probably, because I don't think I own any songs that I never want to hear again. Give me a second. Nope. I just did a thorough search and I don't have any music that sucks. I do imagine that anything playing on the radio now on popular commercial radio I would not enjoy. So yeah, let's go with that. Anybody that turns on a popular radio station, chances are I'm not going to enjoy the music that's playing. And at number 10, Mike wants us to share an album with an excellent duet. Now, one thing immediately came to mind, and that is from Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Too Busy Thinking About My Baby. That's an awesome song. I mean, it's Marvin and Tammy. You can't go wrong with that. But as I was writing down the list of questions that Mike had given us, one was playing on my computer, and it is probably one of my favorite duets of all time, and that is Colter Wall's first album here. He does a cover of an old country song called Fraulein, and he sings that with Tyler Childers, who is one of my absolute favorite country artists, one of my favorite artists of any genre. Colter Wall's pretty awesome himself, but yeah, if you've never heard it, Fraulein from Colter's first album, it's really good. So that's it. that's my video for Mike's push to a quadrillion, and I'm getting it in just under the wire. I had almost half this video done a couple of days ago when, as I was editing, my cat ran across the extension cord that we have a lot of things plugged into, and one of them was the drive that I save all my Final Cut profiles to. Just, yeah, I had to unplug everything, restart a number of times, but I got the drive back, and I am going to finish editing this video tonight and hopefully put it up tomorrow morning. Sorry it took so long, Mike. It has no bearing on how important I think you are to the community and to me as a friend. You're one of the best. And even if you don't reach a quadrillion, I really hope you get a whole bunch of new subs out of this. And I will see you, Mike, in the summertime at your party. 100%.
Yoink!
I want to thank everybody who made it this long for hanging out and watching the video. I will hopefully be posting soon my January pickups. It's been an incredibly wonderful month, January was, for new vinyl. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to share, and I look forward to it, and I'll see you all then. Boston's push to a quadrillion subscribers. Quadrillion. Qua. And Mike is such a good guy that when he asks you this is fuck. This a list. Oh, you can see the record. Shit. And at number, Mike's this. And at number 2, Mike's, fuck. Online, no, fuck. Not online. I didn't know that, fuck. Wear a cool shirt in the video, explain. And at number 3, Mike wants us to wear a cool shirt. And at 12 at that time. No, he wasn't. 2006. He was 9? Number 5, Mike's. It's always plural. So, fuck. Well, I guess it would depend on how much money. At number 6, we are to show a blues. Nope. Okay. And I would say that my favorite hat in general is which. Fuck me, really? Okay. Number 7, Mike says how much. Fuck me. I love hats. Show me a hat. Number 8 is in some. No, that doesn't make sense. And finally, at number 10, Mike wants us to share an abla. I will look forward. Fucking fuck. Next video. And that's not a real complete sentence. And at number 10, Mike wants us to share an album with excellent duet.